All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast, talking Auburn football. Yes, sir. Auburn 1-1 going into week 3 of this college football season. Definitely a disappointing loss for the Tigers. This is one that I had Auburn winning this one. As a matter of fact, I had Auburn winning this one 28-17. But there were a lot of things that I talked about in my prediction show that came to an ugly head in this game. Like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger War Eagle. Now, I picked Auburn, I picked Auburn to win this game 28-17. And the reason why I picked Auburn to win this game 28-17 is because I was not convinced that everything offensively for the Tigers had been fixed. I wasn't even convinced that everything defensively had been fixed. But in my naivety, I thought that Auburn just flat out had enough talent to win this game, figure some things out against New Mexico, not New Mexico State, and get themselves prepared for what's going to be a very talented Arkansas team, a very talented Oklahoma team, and for the next 3 weeks, a super talented Georgia team. I think Georgia has arguably the best roster in college football. And when you look at all the teams that have, stacked up here for the first couple of weeks, Georgia might have the more balanced team in the country to where they can do some great things running the football, passing the football, and they're well coached. And like I said before, they just have a great roster. Alabama struggled a little bit, seemed to be seemed to be in a crucial situation against South Florida, 14-13, late in the middle to late third, fourth quarter, to where this is not the same disciplined Alabama team that we've seen in the past. And there's just a lot of teams that across the board are really trying to find their identity. Luckily, some of them have won. Arkansas didn't have I thought Arkansas played a great game. Arkansas did not win their game. They probably should have. You got South Carolina against Kentucky. Who saw that coming? If you look at this thing from the beginning of the year, go ahead and let's go ahead and flood the comment section with your thoughts on the Auburn versus Cal game. That many are, I've been looking at social media, and a lot of folks are, kind of writing off the Auburn team. And, as fans, that's what you do. When your team loses, it magnifies what is wrong, but it doesn't always shed light to what is right or what can be successful moving down the stretch. Now, I will tell you, from just being transparent, I wanted to do a video last night and talk about Auburn football, but I wasn't in a place to do it because I wanted to make sure that my thoughts were educated, and I wanted to make sure that I gave the right depiction of what I saw. And from an analytical standpoint, giving a video right after a game that you felt like Auburn should have won, and you might be a little bit emotionally deterred, just is not a good idea. When you haven't been able to gather all the facts and gather all the, the circumstances as to how this, thing came to pass, you just think it's irresponsible as an analyst. And I've been doing this for a few years, and I've actually done videos where I had those knee-jerk reactions, like, Bo Nix against Florida and things like that, to where it just didn't give a fair depiction of where things are. Got a couple of takeaways from the Auburn versus Cal game, and a lot of it is disappointing. I think Auburn was the more talented team. I think Auburn, of course, when we rewind this thing back, you probably still looking at an Auburn team that should have won this game by, a couple of digit scores, 28-17. I'm still sticking by that score because you take away a lot of the intangibles that happened in this game. Could have easily happened that way. Takeaway number one. I think the Auburn game plan just didn't work. I think it was a good game plan. I think that, you give the first drive and Auburn scores on that drive. Auburn's in good shape. 7-0. Yeah, the defense allowed a score on the ensuing drive, but Cal didn't have a horrible offense. I think they kind of caught Auburn off balance, and Auburn's still trying to make some adjustments and still trying to figure out some personnel, and some guys were out of position, and Cal was able to catch Auburn off balance. But I think the main thing was when you have a game plan and situations where, field position was not Auburn's friend at all in this game. You got many drives where they start in the, 5 yard line, -5 yard line, -3 yard line. And that takes away a lot of what you plan to do. When Auburn started, if you look at all the drives, when Auburn was able to score, they were able to start at least in favorable field position. I think that was a huge part of the offensive game planning that was thrown off, is you just don't expect to be in that situation. Number two, I think the defense, they did adjust, but early in the game, not being able to execute getting the Cal off the field on third downs. The third down differential for California was incredible. I think they did a great job of executing on third down. Plays that should have been, maybe 2 yards or maybe losses in the backfield, missed tackles, lack of execution gives California the opportunity to extend drives. And against a young defense and against an offense that's still trying to, figure things out, that's just not where you want to be down the stretch. Now, here's the good news. Auburn can go back and do some film review and see some error and, see some opportunity to where when facing this thing. See, here's the thing. When I did my video, this is the stuff that I talked about. I talked about the fact that situational football was not the thing against Alabama A&M. They weren't in position to where they had to face a crucial third down or crucial fourth down, and those types of things add up in a game like this. Now, I do not agree with Auburn's decision to go for it on 4th and 2 early in the game. But I definitely don't agree with the play call. And that led to another Cal touchdown. I think that was a bold play call from the offense. And it definitely put an already dysfunctional defense at the time in a position to try to make a stop against a team that clearly had the momentum. And I just don't agree with that call. The third and final takeaway. Many of you are on the fence of quarterback replacement. I'm not pleased with the play of Payton Thorne. However, I'm also not a quarterback, and I've never been one. The time that I did try to be one, it didn't work. That's why I stayed on the either as a receiver or my main thing as a player when I did have the opportunity to play was on the defensive side of the football field. And I was very good at analyzing film, which is why I like doing what I do now with Vernon Speaks for Us Auburn. Now, here's the deal. I think as a fifth year starter, how many ever many years Thorne has been there, and this is the third takeaway. I want to see a quarterback that can make a play. Even when things are not favorable, when things are on the line, I want to see a quarterback make a play. There have been some quarterbacks in the past that were able to do it. You got Nick Marshall, able to do it. You have Sean White before he was before there was the injury to Cameron Petway. I thought Sean White put Auburn in a position to be one of the best teams in college football. This game reminded me, honestly, of Jarrett Stidham in 2018 when everything went wrong against Tennessee. Turnovers just didn't give the team a chance to win. You have a multiple year starter, and it just was a strange, just like last year's game against California where Auburn probably could have lost there, just a strange chain of events. We don't know who Hugh Freeze will start next game. I think Hugh Freeze will go back and make an educated decision as to who will be the quarterback. My bet is Payton Thorne, and I just hope he gets better. Like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks for Us Auburn. Down deep south, college football is king. And on the plains of Auburn, the battle cry is War Eagle.